Last year, I got a hold of a SPYDRx Plus LED grow light by Fluence Bioengineering and hung it above a 4x4 grow tray. With these 4 Antilles chilies growing in Grodan Unislabs and Hugo blocks on drippers, these are sturdy tropical plants that need lots of intense light in order to flower and fruit to their full potential. It consumes 660 watts, runs on anything between 110 and 277 volts, and covers a 4x4 area very nicely. The best coverage I've seen over this area of any LED fixture, in fact. It's passively cooled and fairly lightweight at 32 pounds. It's about 14.5 kilos for you metric monkeys. Now make sure there is plenty of airflow around the fixture, especially above it, to ensure efficient cooling. It has 8 bars of full spectrum, phosphor-coated LEDs mixed with some 660 nanometer red diodes. Its overall efficiency is about 2.3 micromoles per joule, which places it in the upper tier of what's commonly available, although I'm hearing about fixtures pushing 3 micromoles per joule now. I wish I'd invested in a dimmer. It's an external module that's sold separately. I didn't, and that means you have to run the fixture at full power all of the time. Fluence claims that the fixture can be as close as 6 inches above your canopy, and maybe that's true for some more heat-tolerant species, but I'd recommend 12. As I've mentioned before, the diodes themselves put out next to no infrared radiation directly, but the huge amount of PAR, that's plant-usable light, still has a heating effect on the canopy. What does this mean in practical terms? Well, your canopy leaves could be at 84 degrees Fahrenheit, while your lower leaves could be at 75. This creates a big VPD differential between the top of the plant and the lower part. Now, Fluence wisely advises to take it easy with the nutrient strength, as you'll have to dial it down for the much higher VPD at the canopy. By the way, if you don't know what VPD is, don't worry, just watch my video all about it here. The upshot of all this is that you have to dial down your nutrient solution to suit the VPD at the canopy around 700 ppm or 1.4 millisiemens when my plants were in full flower. I love the way that the light is focused straight down at 90 degrees. There's minimal light wastage out to the sides of the footprint, and this works really well for hobbyists like me growing in a 4x4. But by the same token, you could easily stitch these fixtures together to form a pretty uniform lighting pattern across larger areas. The intensity does get a little crazy directly beneath the center of the fixture, easily over 1100 micromoles. I used additional height to lower this in an absence of a dimmer, an easy solution but obviously less efficient as I'm consuming the same amount of power. Certainly you can achieve over 900 micromoles average over a 4x4 tray, and unless you're supplementing additional carbon dioxide in your grow room, this is a sensible light intensity target for any grower. Growth was excellent, fast, lush, heavy, and very even, and it was clear that the plants were more than satisfied with the light levels as they didn't stretch or bolt at all. The light, being full spectrum, was much more pleasant to work with than other LEDs that I've tried. I've harvested bag after bag of ripe, beautiful red Antilles chili peppers. As with all multi-point LED fixtures I've tried, the jury is still out when it comes to canopy penetration. The light comes from straight above, which means those top leaves create shade. I've seen some growers defoliate their canopies to encourage more light penetration, but I think it's more efficient to use low-stress training techniques. You know how much I love my soft mesh netting to spread your plants out horizontally. Verdict: this is definitely my favorite LED fixture that I've grown plants full life cycle with, from veg right through to the end of bloom. Not cheap at $1,500 a piece though, but clearly a very high quality product. You have to take into account the cost of ownership and also the real world when looking at the price. It has a stated L70 of over 150,000 hours. That means that the manufacturer estimates that it will still be putting out 70% of its original intensity after 150,000 hours. But will you really be running this fixture for 12 hours a day for the next 34 years? If you're watching this in the year 2052 and I'm still alive, then sure, I'd love to hear from you. I'd certainly recommend the SPYDRx Plus for cultivators of light-loving species, especially if the ceiling height is a limiting factor. And I understand that there are going to be some component upgrades to this model coming in 2018, which will push the efficiency up even further, and I'll tell you about those as soon as I learn more. Thanks for listening once again. I know I've been quiet lately, but I've been doing a lot of traveling, and it's all part of the plan to take things up to the next level this year, so stay tuned. I think a lot of you are going to like the upcoming evolution of this channel. Peace, love, and capsaicin to you all. This is Everest, out.